Central Cee and Dave just released a joint EP and it's got some cool melodic drill tracks on there, so I'm going to show you how to make one of those. So we're going to do something sort of Spanish guitar style, similar to Sprinter, which is my favourite track of the EP. We're going to start off with a classic nylon guitar and Omnisphere. It's a really basic sound. When I'm doing guitar and MIDI, I like to keep it really simple and just start off with a single note progression, and then from there build out the chords and strums or whatever I want to do. So I'm just going to record in a basic progression like this. So just working in C minor. Now I'm just going to build the chords from this and use a bit of trial and error and just go by ear and what sounds good essentially. So first let's copy it down an octave. Just give it a bit of depth and we'll turn this down. So now for this part you don't really need to know any music theory. You can just build the chords from what sounds good to your ear and what sounds in the style you want. Obviously if you know music theory it's a lot easier, but for the sake of beginners just go by what sounds good. Just mess around with inversions, so just like moving different notes to different octaves. For these higher notes you can see I'm doing it a lot lower and it's going to make it sound a lot more human that way. So with a bit of trial and error I've come up with this, which is going to be the main sort of basic progression. And then what I like to do is another version of the same thing where I take out the higher notes so that you've got something you can use for a verse or different sections to mix it up. Just going to copy it over and then this one will take out these. And then we'll put a shaper box on it where I'm using a simple preset that's just going to give it a bit of compression and make the volume a bit better. Next I want to get some pad or some keys to sit underneath the guitar. So an easy way to do this, I'm just going to search through my samples and stems in C minor, which is the progression of the guitar, and find something that's already made to sit underneath it. Alright, so we're now getting somewhere. Next I want to add a flute. I always tend to add a flute when I've got a guitar. It just always goes together really well on drill tracks especially. Pretty wavy. So I'm just putting a ton of reverb on that, taking out the lows as usual. And then finally I just want a vocal to put in that comes in every now and then, something really atmospheric. And we've just got this random sample from somewhere. Like I said, just adding some atmosphere to the melody. Okay, let's move on to the drums. Now for drill drums, I always keep it really simple, starting off with the basic concepts and then from there embellishing it and just making it a bit more advanced as I go along. When you're doing melodic drill, the melodies tend to be quite advanced and a lot more melodic. So I like to keep the drums a bit more simple when it comes to the counter snare, hi-hat patterns and whatnot, just to make sure that it doesn't clash too much with everything else that's going on. Can't go wrong with a basic drill beat, it just always sounds good. perfect. Now, quick tip, if you're like me and you have trouble with your kick and making it punch through, there's a free plugin you should check out, Cashmere Essentials Kick. The light version is free. Obviously there is a paid version as well, but it's got everything you need to just mess about with the kick and make it do anything you want it to. Sub, make it mono. Next, I'm going to do a sort of counter snare, which is basically going to be the same as the hi-hat pattern, but have a bit more complexity and sort of complement it a bit, just to make sure it's not too generic. And for this, I just want to draw the notes in so I can go bar by bar and just get a nice feel for it. So let's try something like that, and then try this. Then finally, just a cool perk sound that comes in randomly. Cool, I think that works. Now the last main thing will be the 808, of course. Now in 2023, I don't think the 808s need to be as crazy sounding as they used to be, especially for these sort of commercial melodic drill tracks. I think it works better to have simplicity in the 808 and just make sure it complements the progression of the melody. Now we've got the basic loop, so we can start arranging it and doing some cool things to keep the beat interesting. Put in the typical gunshot for the intro. And then for the drop, we're just going to use Twist King to do this little effect. Hopefully it hits. Now, of course, it's really important with the arrangement just to have things drop in, drop out. So you'll see the flute's going to come in sporadically. The vocal will come in a bit later in the verse. We'll have a section where the pad drops out. We can have a section where the guitar drops out. And then you can get cool effects like this. So you can see there the drums have dropped out, the melody's dropped out, but I've left the 808 in, so it gives a nice little effect and it comes back on the snare and just puts a lot of emphasis, and it's really good for vocals and giving space for the artist. Anyways, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, have a good one. Peace out.